I'm Brigadier General Deidre Tahan, the commander of Brooke Army Medical Center. Welcome to our holiday episode of BAMC MedTalk. In celebration of the season, we have a special show planned for today. As we all know, it's difficult to maintain our healthy routines in eating healthy during the holidays. So for this episode, we'll be cooking some delicious holiday dishes from the beautiful kitchen at the Vogel Resiliency Center on JBSA Fort Sam Houston. We will also discuss some safe and healthy cooking tips to help you navigate this busy time of the year. Joining me today for today's cooking demo is Chef Mary Long and Lieutenant Nicholas Montez. Thank you for being here today. For those watching, we'll post the recipes on social media when we share the videos so you can cook along with us. Now let's get cooking.
And then we're gonna move on to our pumpkin mousse. All right. So you were talking about sweeteners, sir, Lieutenant Montez.
Yes, so in this recipe here, we're not calling for the traditional sugar that we would use normally. We're actually gonna be using a monk fruit blend. It's a sweetener alternative. And so the nice thing about this one is that it's actually, you can use it as equivalent for sugar. So a lot of the times when we get into these alternatives, some of them are gonna be a lot sweeter than normal. So we only use like a little bit of amount of it. And so at least with this one, you can follow the recipe. You don't have to make any kind of adjustments and worry about making anything too sweet.
Yes.
And
we're
I see nutmeg and cinnamon.
Yes.
And
pumpkin pie spice. You want to be the hands and I'll talk you through it?
Yes.
All right. So we started out with pumpkin puree. This is not the one that says pumpkin pie mix where it actually has all the seasonings and everything in it. We're actually just using an organic pumpkin puree. So this is just pumpkin. And this is where our recipe is getting some of that protein and that fiber. Yeah,
so pumpkin is very nutritious. We get a lot of vitamins and minerals, and it has a lot of fiber in it as well. Very key ingredient, we get a lot of vitamin A, which is good for our eye health as well. So, and I think too, we normally think of pumpkin in the holidays, when normally you can actually buy this in the stores. You can buy canned pumpkin throughout the year and still utilize it throughout the year as well.
Our pumpkin puree in there. All right, so that's 1 can of puree. And we're going to add in just one of those. We're actually using the monk fruit blend. What are some of the other sweeteners?
Oh, there's so many. So you may see like the Sweet and Low, stevia, Truvia, I think.
Yes.
There's so many out there. And so when we get to the artificial sweeteners, usually the key thing with those is that they're 0 calorie. And so they are a good alternative. And as I said, some of them can be very sweet, so you may have to adjust the measurement for them. But at least with these, this is a 0 calorie sweetener compared to regular sugar, which is gonna provide those extra calories. So this is how we can make this dessert and not make it so high calorie now.
All right, so we're gonna add to that, we're gonna add in our vanilla, our pumpkin pie spice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. And I love using these spices because we can see some of that anti-inflammatory as well from getting all these spices going. In just a minute, we're gonna actually make some heavy whipping cream. We're not using half and half for this because we want it to actually cream up, but it's also low in carbs. So it's going to still keep the recipe on point. Okay, so this we can set aside for just a moment, and we're gonna add to our mixing bowl here. That's our heavy whipping cream, and we divided the ½ a cup of the monk fruit sweetener. A ¼ cup went in here with the puree. The other ¼ cup goes in here with the blend. Now, one of the things I did, if you have a stand mixer, this one is really, I love red, so it was my favorite. But it's great because you can actually take your bowl and your whisk from your stand mixer, put it in the freezer for a few minutes, and let that chill up, and that'll help your whipping cream blend up. Your peaks come out higher, and it blends up faster. If you're doing it by hand with a stand mixer, that works too. But we're gonna get this going, and that's gonna happen really quick and easy. We're just using that, letting that blend in and get some nice little peaks to it, and that'll be good. And then we're gonna fold it into our puree. And that's about it.
That's awesome.
So-
That's simple.
No bake. So when you got that turkey and all your sides in the oven and you're thinking, I cannot get one more thing, this is a no-bake dessert as well. This is also something you can take on the go. So if you're going to grandma's house and you're the dessert maker, you can take it with. It's just this. Okay. So all of that is actually going to go into our recipe, and we're going to just gently fold it in. You can actually use this one if you want to, because it's all going to work together. And so we were just looking for a light peak to it, to where it kind of looks like it's just, if you think of like a meringue peak, but on the lighter side is when we know that it's whipped up nice. All right. And we'll just blend that in and just do it on the lighter side. It's not like a meringue where you're gonna have to worry about it falling, but just we're just gonna get that completely blended in. And then it needs to set up for about an hour in the refrigerator. But again, with the magic of television, here we are.
All right.
So our whipping cream, an option is you can actually top it off with a little bit more whipping cream, crispy topping. So if you are missing that crust, if you guys want to put a little dollop does it, of our whipping cream. Now you can get fancy, guys, and get the pastry bags out. And
I don't need to get fancy. I just need to try it.
Yeah. And I'm going to grate just a little bit of fresh nutmeg on there. And that is with our actual nutmeg. So we're going to just grate a little bit. And there is our easy and light pumpkin mousse.
That's so good. To me, it's better than pumpkin pie because it's lighter and it's very refreshing.
It's really light and airy.
And remember, it's lower calorie as well, so we can eat a little bit more if we want.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for cooking with us today.
Well, thank you guys both for joining us. And Joe, thank you again for letting us be here at the Vogel Resiliency Center. Thank you for all you do for our community. You definitely make our community healthier. Both of those recipes were so good. I know what I'll be eating tonight for dinner. A special thank you to Chef Long and Lieutenant Montez for sharing their cooking expertise and the great tips. To everyone, have a safe and happy holiday season, and thank you for watching the latest episode of BAMC MedTalk. Stay tuned for our first episode in 2023.